You were not born broken. You were born programmed by teachers who doubted their own dreams, by parents who feared scarcity, by a society that worships comfort over courage. From the moment you could listen, the world began to install limitations in the silence between its sentences. Be realistic. Play it safe. Don't expect too much. Each phrase another line of code. Each warning another wall inside your mind. And now, years later, you wonder why you hesitate before you act, why you shrink before you shine, why you wake up already tired of a day that hasn't even begun. It isn't fate. It isn't lack. It's wiring. Invisible circuits of belief that run deeper than habit, deeper than effort, deeper than motivation. They are the secret programs that run your life on autopilot. But tonight, you will begin to rewrite them. This is not a bedtime story. This is a ritual, a restoration of mental command. Let this voice become the current that carries you out of drift and into direction, because what you feed your mind in the quiet hours between waking and sleep becomes the blueprint of your entire destiny. Your subconscious, the silent architect, builds from whatever it hears most often. It cannot resist repetition. It only obeys it. And so if you let this play, if you let it reach past your conscious guard, past the noise of old memory, it will begin to plant new law inside you. Every empire, every fortune, every masterpiece began in a mind that refused to entertain weakness. Thought is the root, repetition is the water, habit is the trunk, action is the fruit. You cannot pick a different harvest without planting a different seed. Tonight we plant new ones, seeds of belief, certainty, decision. You will no longer live by reactions. You will live by command. You have been wired to lose, not by choice, but by exposure to the news, to gossip, to the low hum of mediocrity that surrounds the untrained mind. You are about to reverse that current. From this hour on, you will feed yourself only power, precision, and purpose. You will no longer be a servant to random suggestion. You will be the master engineer of your own subconscious. The process is not magic. It is mechanical law. Napoleon Hill called it autosuggestion, the act of impressing your definite chief aim upon the subconscious through faith and repetition until the mind accepts it as identity. The world laughs at repetition, but repetition is creation. The sculptor strikes the same spot again and again until marble yields to vision. The blacksmith heats and hammers until steel forgets it was ever raw. So too must you strike the same thought, the same command, night after night, until your mind forgets the old pattern and obeys the new. Close your eyes. Breathe once with intention. Feel the day leaving you like dust washed from a worker's hands. Everything that has ever gone wrong was instruction, not identity. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are the architect of their lessons. And from this night forward, the blueprint changes. Repeat quietly in your heart. I now speak only what aligns with my definite purpose. I permit no thought that weakens my resolve. My life is shaped by what I repeat, not by what I wish. These words are not decoration. They are design. They are the first switches in your new circuitry. As you listen, your conscious mind will drift, and that is perfect. The conscious mind must sleep so the builder can work. Let the rhythm of these truths replace the static of the world. Each repetition tightens the wire. Each sentence installs new power. Soon hesitation will seem foreign. Soon doubt will sound like a foreign language, because you will have spoken belief so often that it becomes your native tongue. Your mind is fertile soil. It will grow whatever you plant, and it does not judge the seed, it only multiplies it. So tonight, plant conviction, plant calm, plant courage, plant discipline. The harvest will come. It always does. Listen carefully now. You have been told that success is complicated, that wealth belongs to the lucky, that purpose is found only by a chosen few. But those are lies spoken by men who gave up on themselves too early. Success has never been complex. It has only been hidden behind mental fog. That fog clears the moment you decide to see differently. Your reality is not what you live in, it's what you believe in. The world you walk through is only the reflection of the world that lives inside your thoughts. If your inner world is filled with hesitation, your outer world will mirror it with delay. If your mind is rich in belief, your world will respond with opportunity. You cannot escape your own vibration. You can only master it. That is why every man of greatness, from Edison to Carnegie, from Ford to Disney, mastered the art of mental command before he mastered the tools of his trade. Napoleon Hill wrote that thought mixed with belief becomes power. He called it definite purpose, backed by burning desire. That phrase is not poetry. It is precision. It means that the universe itself bends to the man who knows exactly what he wants and repeats it until the world has no choice but to comply. You see, most people drift because they never issue a command. They speak in wishes, not in decisions. They say, I want success instead of I am success in motion. The difference seems small, but it separates kings from beggars. A wish asks, a decision declares, a wish waits for permission, a decision begins the work immediately. The 1% of men who rise, they do not sleep in confusion. They end every day with a clear command to their subconscious. Here is who I am. Here is what I will achieve. Here is what I expect from the world. And the subconscious, like a loyal servant, begins to shape reality accordingly. If you could see inside the mind of the successful, you would not find random thoughts. You would find structured faith, a mental routine so consistent that failure cannot enter. That is mindset. Not hype, not positive thinking, but deliberate direction of thought, repeated until the mind obeys automatically. So tonight, decide who you are, not tomorrow, not next week. Now, before sleep, say this: I am the master of my emotions. I am the architect of my fate. I am the commander of my destiny. Let those words vibrate through your soul. Do not whisper them as a prayer. Declare them as law. For the subconscious mind does not respond to weak suggestion. It obeys confident decree. And as you listen now, feel the old patterns dissolve. Feel the doubts begin to fade, like shadows retreating before dawn. The fear that once seemed so loud becomes quiet in the presence of conviction. Because belief is not something you find. It is something you build brick by brick through repetition and emotion. You are not fighting the world. You are fighting your wiring. And the only weapon powerful enough to change it is consistency. Every time you repeat your vision with feeling, you carve a new groove into the circuits of your mind. At first it feels forced, then it feels natural. Eventually it feels inevitable. That is the law of habit, the law of cosmic force. When Thomas Edison said, I will find the answer, it was not a statement of curiosity. It was a command to his mind. When Ford said, I will build a car for the multitudes, he was not describing an idea, he was declaring a fact. His subconscious had already accepted as done. They all operated from this simple principle. Reality follows repetition. So if your mind has been repeating fear, replace it with faith. If it has been repeating failure, replace it with focus. You are not required to accept the programming you inherited. You are required to write new code. And that code begins with the thoughts you allow in your final hour each night. The difference between the man who dreams and the man who builds is not intelligence, not luck, but the courage to repeat truth when the world repeats lies. That courage is the rarest form of strength. The strength to believe before results appear, to see the unseen, to hold to the invisible thread that connects thought to destiny. You are holding that thread now. Strengthen it, repeat it, speak with faith, and the unseen will soon appear as form. The world responds to the man who knows where he is going, and it ignores the man who drifts. From this moment on, drifting is no longer your story. You are a man of command, of direction, of daily intention. Repeat silently as you breathe. My thoughts obey me. My mind is disciplined. My results are inevitable. Let that truth settle. Feel it take root. You are no longer reacting to life. You are designing it. You are no longer at the mercy of chance. You are in command of law. Because when a man learns to master his mind, the universe becomes his mirror. Now listen closely. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary men is not intelligence. It is vision. The ordinary man sees what is, the extraordinary man sees what could be, and then disciplines himself until what he saw becomes real. Every building began as a picture in someone's mind. Every empire was once an idea no one else believed in. Every fortune started with a sentence whispered into the subconscious and repeated until the world was forced to recognize it. If you cannot see your future, you cannot create it. The eyes in your head are limited, but the eyes of your imagination are infinite. The moment you dare to imagine a life greater than your circumstances, the law begins to move in your favor. Infinite intelligence, the same power that grows trees from seeds and galaxies from dust, begins to align with your decision. But understand this truth: vision without discipline is fantasy. You cannot expect your mind to obey a vision you do not feed daily. You must speak it, write it, breathe it, live it until it becomes the only thought that feels natural to you. That is how discipline is born, not through willpower, but through identity. Napoleon Hill said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But belief requires feeding. You cannot plant a seed once and walk away. The soil must be watered every day, with action, with affirmation, with unwavering faith. Discipline is not punishment. It is the highest form of self-love. It is the daily proof that you are serious about your purpose. When you rise in the morning, your old self will try to return. It will whisper, stay the same, stay safe, stay small. That is the voice of the past. But your new voice, the one we are building tonight, must answer louder. I am not who I was. I am who I decide to be. Say it again. Feel it. Let it vibrate through your chest. because discipline is not built in comfort, it is forged in defiance of the old voice. The man who acts only when motivated will never rule his world. Motivation fades, but discipline remains. Discipline is the bridge between thought and creation. It is what turns repetition into reality. Edison did not invent by excitement, he invented by endurance. He faced thousands of failures, yet each night before sleep, he repeated his purpose. Each morning, he rose and acted upon it. That is not luck, that is law. The same law waits for you. If you wish to rewire your life, begin by mastering your morning and commanding your night. When the sun rises, declare your aim aloud. When the world grows silent, repeat it again. Morning is decision, night is installation. One without the other is chaos. Both together create mastery. And remember, purpose is not discovered, it is declared. Too many wait for signs, for permission, for validation. But the world does not reveal purpose to the hesitant. It rewards the decisive. Your purpose is the direction your soul already knows, but your fear has ignored. You don't need a map, you need commitment. Once you commit, clarity comes as reward. Your vision must be clear, but your discipline must be ruthless. Speak this now within yourself. My mind is my kingdom. My purpose is my law. My actions are my army. And every day I march toward my vision. Let those words burn through your uncertainty, because the mind you are training does not care about comfort. It responds only to command. The moment you begin to act in alignment with your definite purpose, the universe starts rearranging itself to match your conviction. People, ideas, and opportunities will move toward you as if pulled by gravity, not by magic, but by mental law. The man who doubts this law lives in reaction. The man who believes it begins to create worlds. So stop reacting, begin creating. Build your vision in silence. Repeat your command in private. Let your results make the noise. You must see yourself already living the life you desire. You must feel it before it arrives, because your subconscious does not know the difference between imagination and experience. It only knows what you feel with conviction. If you feel rich, it begins to create richness. If you feel powerful, it begins to construct strength. If you feel certain, it begins to open doors that uncertainty kept locked. Every thought carries a vibration. Every vibration attracts its equal. The question is not whether the law works, it is whether you are using it consciously or by accident. Tonight, you choose to use it consciously. So say this now with decision. I see my future clearly. I act daily with purpose. I discipline my mind, my time, and my energy toward my definite goal. The world bends to the man who refuses to bend to his fear. And from this moment forward, that man is you. Now that you have seen the vision, felt the purpose, and declared the discipline, there comes the hour of proof, action. Thought is the blueprint, but action is the hammer that drives the nail. No idea, no affirmation, no belief carries power until it becomes motion. You must become a man of execution, not explanation. For while others talk of plans, you will already be walking the path. Action is divine language. It tells the universe you are serious. It is how faith speaks without words. Most men wait to feel ready before they begin, and that is why they never start. Readiness is not a feeling, it is a decision. You prepare the moment you move. You learn by doing. You grow by acting, even when your hands shake and your voice trembles. That trembling is not weakness, it is transformation. It means your old self is dying and the new one is coming alive. But understand this, not all action is equal. Busy men do not build empires. Directed action does. Every step must serve your definite chief aim. If it does not bring you closer, it is distraction. Hill called this organized effort, motion guided by purpose. The successful do not move randomly. They move with precision. They wake with intention. They walk with command. And every day they take one deliberate step toward their chosen destiny. Repeat this quietly to yourself. Each action I take is rooted in purpose. I act with clarity. I move with power. I persist with faith. Let that sink in. You must understand, success is not a single grand event. It is 1,000 small actions performed consistently, quietly, faithfully. The world does not reward what you occasionally do. It rewards what you repeatedly do. Now listen carefully. As powerful as action is, there is another hidden law that multiplies its strength: gratitude. Gratitude is not softness. It is not surrender. It is the highest form of recognition that you are in control. Gratitude transforms struggle into energy. It turns obstacles into instruction. When you are grateful, you rise above the vibration of fear. Fear says, I lack. Gratitude says, I already have. And from that foundation, creation becomes effortless. Each night before you sleep, list silently what you are thankful for. Not the vague, but the specific. Thank the lessons, thank the failures, thank the resistance, because each one carved you into who you are becoming. Gratitude rewires your perception, and perception is everything. You see, two men can live the same day. One calls it failure, the other calls it feedback. One collapses, the other evolves. The difference is adaptability. Gratitude fuels adaptability, and adaptability fuels growth. When you stop resisting reality and begin responding to it, you become unstoppable. The mind that is rigid breaks under pressure. The mind that adapts bends into opportunity. Life will test you. It will send delays, rejections, betrayals, and storms. These are not punishments. They are calibrations. They refine the man who refuses to quit. They sculpt his patience, his focus, his emotional endurance. When Edison's lab burned to the ground, he did not despair. He looked at the flames and said, "There's great value in disaster. All our mistakes are burned up. Thank God we can start anew." That is adaptability powered by gratitude, and that is the mindset that rewires destiny. Say this with me now slowly. I do not resist. I respond. I do not complain. I command. I do not fear. I adapt. These are not empty affirmations. They are blueprints for power. You cannot build strength in comfort. You cannot build wisdom in ease. You cannot build mastery without movement. The tests you face are not proof that you're off course. They are proof that you're progressing. Life only tests the man who has chosen a direction. And when you respond to those tests with gratitude and adaptability, the universe opens a gate that no man can close. You begin to sense opportunities where others see chaos. You begin to act with calm while others panic. That calm is your new superpower, the proof that your wiring has changed. Each night as your conscious mind drifts toward rest, let gratitude be your final command. Let adaptability be your final emotion. Say it softly. I am grateful for my lessons. I am adaptable in all challenges. I rise stronger each morning. This is the formula that separates those who fall from those who fly. Gratitude keeps your energy clean. Adaptability keeps your mind flexible. Together they make you unstoppable. And as you continue to act daily with purpose, discipline, gratitude, and adaptability, something sacred begins to happen. Your subconscious starts believing you. It no longer doubts. It no longer negotiates. It simply obeys. That obedience is freedom. It is the quiet, unshakable certainty that whatever happens, you will adjust, persist, and rise. That is the mark of a rewired man. Not that he avoids storms, but that he commands himself through them. Now breathe deeply. Feel the energy of movement, of gratitude, of calm power filling your mind. You are not who you were when this began. You are already rewiring. You are already becoming. There comes a moment in every man's journey when he must decide what kind of soul he will carry through adversity. You see, life will not hand you peace because you want it. It will hand you storms so you can prove you deserve it. Every man who ever achieved greatness stood in the fire of difficulty and refused to kneel. And that is where you too must stand, not as a victim of circumstance, but as the architect of response. Resilience is not born in comfort. It is carved in conflict. It is the quiet strength that grows when the world says no, and you whisper back, "Watch me." You must understand the universe will test the seriousness of your purpose. It will not test you to break you, but to build you. Because strength that has not been tested is only potential. Only in the face of pressure does potential become power. Thomas Edison failed over 10,000 times before creating the light bulb. Henry Ford went bankrupt 5 times before revolutionizing transportation. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. Yet every one of these men shared one thing. They never surrendered their belief. They learned, they adapted, and they persisted. They didn't see failure as the opposite of success. They saw it as a necessary step toward it. The weak man asks, "Why me?" The strong man asks, "What must I learn?" Because learning turns pain into progress. Pain, when understood, becomes information. Information, when applied, becomes wisdom. Wisdom, when repeated, becomes transformation. That is the chain of greatness, and it begins the moment you stop running from struggle and start learning from it. You are not defined by your scars. You are defined by the strength that healed them. Every challenge that once made you tremble was placed in your path not to punish you, but to prepare you for your purpose. There is no wasted pain in a disciplined mind. Every wound is a teacher, every loss a lesson, every delay a direction. Say this now firmly. Nothing in my life happens against me. Everything happens for me. Let those words echo. The moment you begin to believe that every event has meaning, your suffering turns to structure. You no longer ask for an easy life. You ask for the strength to face life on your terms. That is resilience. That is transformation. Remember this truth. A storm does not destroy the mountain. It shapes it. You are that mountain. The pressure, the pain, the resistance, they are sculpting you into something unshakable. Your old self, the one built on doubt and fear, is dying. Do not mourn it. Let it go. The man who rises from those ashes will no longer be fragile. He will be forged. Resilience is not stubbornness. It is adaptability with faith. It is the ability to bend without breaking, to move forward without losing hope, to be tired but never defeated. Every time you stand again after falling, you teach your subconscious that you are unbreakable. And once it learns that, the world can no longer control you. Think of Abraham Lincoln, who faced endless failures before freeing a nation, or Napoleon Hill himself, who spent decades in poverty while writing Think and Grow Rich, holding his belief even when the world mocked his vision. These men were not born extraordinary. They built extraordinary resilience through repetition, through faith, through action. The question now is, how do you build yours? First, you must stop asking for a life without challenges. That is the request of the untrained. Instead, ask for wisdom, for clarity, for emotional control. The resilient man is not free from chaos. He is simply calm within it. His peace is not the absence of storms. It is the ability to stand still while they rage. Second, you must develop the courage to learn from your pain. Every mistake you've made holds a key, but you must face it to claim it. Do not run from reflection. Sit with your failures. Study them like a master studies his craft. Ask, what must I change? What thought allowed this? What strength must I build now? That is how pain becomes a teacher, not a prison. Third, you must repeat faith until it becomes your default setting. Faith is not denial of reality. It is mastery of it. Faith does not ignore fear. It overrules it. Every time fear whispers, you can't, you must respond, watch me, because repetition of courage rewires the brain to see opportunity where others see danger. And finally, remember this, resilience is not about how fast you move, it is about how long you last. The man who persists, even 1 inch at a time, always wins over the man who sprints without vision. Life does not reward speed, it rewards endurance. Say this quietly now and mean it. I endure, I learn, I rise. My challenges are my teachers. My pain is my power. My struggle is my strength. These are not just affirmations, they are the new foundation of your being. The man who repeats them with conviction becomes immune to defeat. He begins to see every obstacle as an invitation to evolve. You are no longer at war with your circumstances. You are in partnership with your destiny, and destiny favors the man who refuses to stop walking. Now breathe deeply. Feel the transformation. You are no longer reacting to life. You are mastering it. The world may shake, but you stand unshaken. That is resilience. That is greatness. That is you. Now listen carefully, because this is the moment that separates those who live by chance from those who live by law. You have felt the call. You have glimpsed your strength. You have faced your fears and begun to command your thoughts. But this is where transformation becomes destiny. The world you desire is not waiting for you somewhere out there. It is being built right now within you. One belief, one repetition, one decision at a time. You were never meant to live small. You were not born to drift through days of doubt, to serve as a slave to other men's opinions. You were born with a purpose so specific, so divine, that no one else on this earth could fulfill it. That purpose has been whispering inside you since the beginning, waiting for you to become quiet enough, brave enough, and focused enough to finally hear it. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be to begin, because the law does not care how far you've fallen. It only responds to command. The moment you speak with conviction, the universe bends to your decision. Napoleon Hill said, "There are no limitations to the mind except those we acknowledge." You must now refuse to acknowledge any. Everything that has happened to you was training. Every heartbreak, every rejection, every failure, all of it was preparation. The man you are now is not broken, he is being sharpened. Steel is not made soft, it is forged in heat. And the fire you once cursed was the very thing shaping your strength. So rise, not tomorrow, not when it's convenient. Rise now, because the longer you wait to act on your vision, the louder your doubts become. The mind must be led. It will not follow a hesitant master. Command it with clarity. Speak with certainty. And when fear tries to whisper, "You're not ready," answer it with this truth: "I was born ready. I was simply waiting to remember who I am." There will be nights when you doubt everything, when the weight of responsibility feels unbearable, when progress seems invisible. But I tell you now, in those moments, do not give up. Give more. Do not retreat. Recommit. The law of persistence has never failed a single man who refused to stop moving. Your results will not come overnight, but they will come, because law cannot be denied. The same way gravity pulls a falling stone, your repeated thoughts are pulling your future into form. You may not see it yet, but it's already in motion. Your work is to keep believing, keep acting, keep commanding, even in the silence, especially in the silence. When no one believes in you, believe louder. When no one applauds you, move faster. When the world doubts your voice, speak with more certainty. Because the truth is this: you are not waiting for opportunity. Opportunity is waiting for you to match its frequency. And that frequency is belief mixed with repetition, powered by gratitude, sealed with action. You must remember, wealth, peace, freedom, these are not destinations. They are reflections of the man you become. You don't chase success, you attract it by alignment. You don't force the law, you flow with it through consistency. Every day, every night, every repetition, you are installing new identity, new confidence, new destiny. Now say this slowly and with full command. I am the architect of my life. I do not drift. I decide. I am not my past. I am my potential. My thoughts are my servants. My mind obeys my purpose. Feel those words. Let them sink beyond language and into identity. This is not a pep talk. This is the truth of your being. The day you stop repeating weakness is the day you stop being weak. The moment you stop speaking fear is the moment fear loses its language. The 1% are not born different. They are wired different. And you, right now, are rewiring. You are teaching your mind what it should obey. You are commanding your energy to serve you. You are shifting from reaction to creation, from survival to intention, from hope to certainty. You were not sent here to repeat mediocrity. You were sent here to remember power, to walk with purpose, to lead with clarity, to create with faith. Every man who masters his inner world commands his outer one. That is the secret no one teaches, not in school, not in jobs, not in casual conversation, but it has been written in every line of truth spoken by the greats. Carnegie knew it, Edison proved it, Ford lived it, Napoleon Hill wrote it, and now you will live it too. From this night forward, you do not drift into sleep. You command it. You do not wake by accident. You rise by intention. Speak this truth once more and let it echo through the chambers of your mind. I am becoming unstoppable. I am rewired for greatness. My success is not coming. It is already being built within me. And when you wake tomorrow, act as if it is already true. Walk like it. Speak like it. Think like it. Because the universe only delivers what you believe you already deserve. This is your moment, your rebirth, your call to mastery. Let no man, no fear, no past version of yourself take this from you. You have the blueprint, you have the command, you have the law. Now live it. And if this message ignited something inside you, remember, this is not the end. This is the beginning of who you were always meant to become. So tonight, before you sleep, repeat these words until your soul vibrates with certainty. I am the master of my mind. I am the creator of my destiny. I am the proof that Napoleon Hill's wisdom still lives. Now go, build, command, and rise.